Hi guys, welcome to my channel, it's Varia, and it's finally time for me to make my July recap video. I will show you how much I learned and how many cards I reviewed in Anki in July. So I started doing Anki every day on the 26th of July, and it has been exactly 2 years since I started doing Anki every day. Here you can see my streak, and this is my deck, languages I'm learning or want to learn, and some other subjects like chess, puzzles, and geography. So I will show you some statistics and numbers, and I will try to demonstrate how much you can learn with Anki. Here you can see how many cards I had in my deck on the 1st of July, and here how many I had on the last day of July. So I learned more than 2,500 cards last month. And here you can see how many new cards I learned every day. If I'm busy, I don't learn new cards, or I learn only a few of them, and if I have the time, I can learn 50 or 100 new cards in a day. Of course, it depends on how difficult the cards are. I can learn 100 easier cards with sentences or examples, or I can learn only 10 new cards in Chinese, and it will take the same amount of time. So in July I learned almost 2,700 cards. As usual, some chess puzzles, 500 new cards, some geography cards. I already finished learning flags and locations, and now I'm finishing this deck by learning the capitals of countries. So it's another 500 new cards. As usual, I focus more on German and Chinese now, so I spend more time immersing myself in these languages and of course learning new words and sentences. For German, I learned more new words, but they were of course much easier than the Chinese ones. In Chinese, I learned not only words and sentences, but I also practiced my listening and writing. For other languages, I learned just a tiny bit, some words and sentences that I found during immersion. During July, I also did 28,000 reviews and I spent about 70 hours in Anki, so on average it's about 2 hours a day. It seems like a lot, but I don't feel overwhelmed by Anki because I don't do all my reviews in one go. I can spend 50 minutes in the morning, 20 to 30 minutes during lunch, maybe 10 or 20 minutes at work during breaks, and when I finish, the rest after my job. Of course, the biggest number of reviews were for Chinese, German and geography. For the other languages, not so much. Chinese usually takes a lot of my time because it's much harder to remember words and understand sentences. Also, handwriting takes a lot of my time. On average, I spend 20 or 30 minutes a day just writing characters. And if I skip a day, the next day I will need to write them for an hour or so. I think it's the most tiring and time-consuming part of all my Anki reviews, and to be honest, I don't need to know how to write Chinese characters, because many Chinese people don't write them anymore and just type on keyboards instead. But for some reason I also like it and want to be able to write in Chinese. It helps me a lot with remembering Chinese characters, and maybe one day if I start learning Japanese, it will help me as well. And finally, my retention for July was around 80%. I'm happy with that number because my desired retention is set to 75%. I think the algorithm in Anki works well and I'm also doing a good job. And that's all for today's recap. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something new today. For me, Anki is like a game where every day you unlock something new, but it's not skins, weapons or bonuses, it's knowledge. Things you didn't know before that might help you in the future. Or maybe not. Bye.